Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy.
And this is the Culips English Podcast. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Culips. This is a catchword episode, our vocabulary series where we teach you useful idioms or phrasal verbs or just interesting expressions. There is a study guide available for this episode on our website, culips.com, and we recommend that you follow along while you listen to us today. And joining me for this episode is my co-host, Jeremy. Jeremy, hello.
Hey there, Andrew. So, what are we going to talk about today?
We are going to study and learn two very common everyday expressions that we can use to talk about situations that are excessive. When someone does too much, they go above and beyond what is needed. And I think, Jeremy, both of these expressions are interchangeable. So it means they have a very similar meaning, and you can use them both in the same situation. And another thing that they have in common is they both include the word over.
Over. The word over is a preposition which usually relates to one thing going above and past something else. So if I throw a ball over your head, then the ball will go above your head and past you. Now, over is also commonly used in many phrasal verbs and idioms, and it usually relates to going above and past, but not in a physical way. Sometimes it is metaphorical, we could say.
Exactly. And the two expressions that we are going to study today both use over in this way to talk about doing something excessively. It's like too strong, too much emphasis. This is the core meaning of over that we'll see in these two expressions. And I think the best way to start here is just to take a look at the first one, Jeremy. It is a noun, and it is overkill. 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 Overkill.
Now, there is no space in between these two, so this is one word. Although over and kill are words in and of themselves, very commonly in English, when two words get used together a lot for a long period of time, they sometimes get smashed together and become one word, like this one.
So when something is overkill, it just means that it is too much, that you have done more than is required. You put more effort in than is needed. And it's almost like a problem, right? It's not a good thing.
In order to understand this expression, I think it would be helpful to start with the word kill. So let's say Andrew is a hunter, and he is hunting a deer. He shoots one arrow at the deer and kills it. Then he goes very close to the deer and shoots 25 more arrows into the deer.
Oh no, poor deer.
Oh dear. Yes, that is overkill. So this is a more literal use of the word, but we very commonly use it in other situations, which maybe our example dialogue today will help our listeners to understand.
I think that's a great idea. So let's take a listen to the first example conversation. And then after we do, we can break it down a little bit and talk more about this expression. Are you ready to go?
Yep. Can you help me load the gear into the car?
Gear?
Yep. I'm bringing a tent, sleeping bags, a cooler, some snacks, a Bluetooth speaker, a portable fan, a couple of camping chairs, a hammock, and a camp stove.
Dude, don't you think that's overkill? We're just going for a picnic at the beach, not a week-long camping trip. So, in this conversation, two friends are getting ready to go on a picnic to the beach. But one of the friends is planning to bring a lot of gear. And gear is a word that we use to talk about equipment or supplies. So this friend is bringing a lot of like camping supplies, outdoor stuff, right? Tents, sleeping bags, snacks, etc. And he's bringing way too much stuff. You don't need all of that gear to go on a simple picnic at the beach. So it's overkill, right? Bringing that much stuff is overkill.
So, in this example, there is no killing going on, of course, but in the sense that if the goal is to go to the beach and have a nice picnic, bringing all of that gear is excessive. It's not needed. Just like 25 arrows in a deer that has already been shot is excessive. So this is the sort of meaning of this expression.
Exactly. All right, let's take a listen to another conversation example using this expression overkill.
I'm thinking about buying a new TV.
Oh, cool. What kind?
I don't know, but I want a big one.
Yeah? How big?
Like maybe an 85-inch?
Don't do it. That'd be overkill. You don't need such a huge screen in your little apartment.
Yeah, but it'd be awesome.
No. It'll just hurt your eyes. I think a 32-inch TV would be perfect for your small space.
In this example, two friends talk about buying a new TV. One of the friends wants to buy a very, very large TV, but he lives in a small apartment. So his friend says that would be overkill. If his goal is to buy a new TV, buying an 85-inch TV would be excessive for accomplishing his goal.
Exactly, yeah. Jeremy, two things came to mind when I was listening to this example. The first thing is that even though Canada uses the metric system is like meters, centimeters, millimeters. When we talk about TV size, we still use inch.
Oh, funny.
So I don't know why we do that, but in Canada, we use inches to talk about TV size. And the second thing is just a quick tip here for all of our listeners, and that is when you are using a measurement as an adjective to describe the shape of something or the size of something, then we don't pluralize the measurement word. So we heard 85-inch and 32-inch TV in that conversation. Not inches, right? 32-inch, not 32 inches. And we do this all the time when talking about objects. You know, it's a 100-foot yacht, not a 100 feet yacht.
Or a $25 book, not a $25. But if someone asks you, how much is that book? Then you would say, this book is $25. And you would say it in the plural form. So if the word dollar or the measurement comes in front of the noun, then it is usually not plural. But if the measurement comes after the verb, then it is usually plural.
And this is something that I hear English learners make mistakes with often. So guys, just be careful with this kind of sentence.
So what's our next expression for this episode, Andrew?
It is to go overboard. So the first expression, overkill, was a noun, and now we have a verb construction, to go overboard. So this is almost like a phrasal verb, right? Overboard is not necessarily a preposition, but this feels like a phrasal verb to me, the way that we use it.
I agree, because I think almost all the time this is used with the verb go. You can't just say, that's overboard. Although some native speakers might make that mistake because it's similar to overkill, but to me, that doesn't sound right.
Maybe some of our listeners are familiar with this word overboard if they've watched like the Pirates of the Caribbean or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hook or some kind of pirate or sailing movie, because I think the first thing that pops into people's heads when they hear overboard is to think of a person or something that has fallen off of a ship.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go overboard, it means you fall off of a ship. This is one of the meanings of this expression, but it has a second meaning, and that's what we're going to explore today. And it's really the same as overkill. So when you go overboard, you do something excessively, and it's too much in a bad way.
If you go on a boat, you board the boat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if
Mm-hmm.
you walk off the edge of the boat, then you go overboard. You go past the end of the board.
The boarding zone.
Exactly. Then you end up in the water.
So, Jeremy, if we think of your image here of staying on the boat as the boat of being a safe place,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then
Mm-hmm.
if you fall off of the boat, it's too excessive. You've crossed the line
Yeah.
into a place that is dangerous. Then I think that would help us understand the core meaning of this expression, which is to do more than you should and to be excessive.
So let's listen to our first example dialogue.
All right, let's take a listen. Thanks again for inviting me over for dinner.
Oh, no problem, man. I hope you're hungry. I made a lot of food.
Yeah, I am hungry. What are we having?
Well, to start, a garden salad, crab cakes, and chicken parmesan meatballs. Then, for the main course, I roasted a chicken and made a lasagna. For dessert, I prepared cheesecake and a cherry pie.
Wow, that sounds delicious, but isn't that too much food? I mean, it's only the two of us. I thought we'd just barbecue hamburgers or something.
Yeah, I guess I went a bit overboard, but oh well. Let's eat.
So, in this example, two friends have gathered together to have a kind of mini dinner party, it sounds like. And the host prepared a huge meal for the two of them, all the way from appetizers, a main course, and even dessert. And the host mentions that he may have went a bit overboard when preparing the dinner. Like he made too much food. It's a little bit excessive for just two people, right?
So I think if we explain this one much more, we might be going a bit overboard. So let's move on to the next dialogue.
What did you do today?
I went to the mall to go shopping.
Did you buy anything?
Yeah, I bought 10 pairs of sneakers.
10 pairs? Don't you think that's going overboard?
Yeah, but there was a going out of business sale at the shoe store. They were all like 70% off. How could I resist? In this example, two friends talk about going shopping. One of the friends bought 10 pairs of sneakers. Sneakers is another word for shoes, but it's usually used for casual shoes that you might wear to walk a lot.
Or like basketball shoes, sports shoes, athletic shoes, any kind of casual shoe we could call a sneaker.
His friend responds by saying that buying 10 pairs of shoes is going overboard. The act of buying so many pairs of shoes is going overboard. In other words, he is saying that he thinks that is excessive. You don't need to buy 10 pairs of shoes at one time. I agree with that.
But the reason that he bought the shoes is that it was a going out of business sale at the shoe store. And from time to time, you can find these kinds of big sales when a business has failed and they need to sell all of the remaining inventory. Sometimes they will have very, very big sales just to get rid of their stock and their inventory. All right. So if
Correct.
you are a keen shopper, sometimes you can find these deals.
And when businesses have going out of business sales like this, that is called liquidation. Liquidation. So when they have inventory sitting in their store, that inventory is worth money, but they can't spend that money. So they need to sell it quickly for a very low price to make liquid cash. So money is sometimes referred to as water or liquid in this sense. And if cash is liquid, then it means that you can use and spend that cash money on other things. You can't use shoes to buy food. So you sell all your shoes for very cheap. So you can take that money and buy food.
And when I was a poor student, I used to shop at a store called Liquidation World.
Oh, wow.
Liquidation World, which was kind of like a center where a bunch
Wow.
of businesses would just sell all their products for very, very cheap because they were going out of business. So it was like a depot for businesses that were going out of business.
Yeah.
Funny, funny store name,
Yeah.
Liquidation World.
That's a bonus term for this episode, everyone.
Jeremy, let's wrap things up. Before we do, we should recap and review what we studied today. So we learned 2 everyday expressions that are used to talk about situations that are excessive or when somebody goes above and beyond what is required. And this is a negative thing. It's not a good thing. The 2 expressions that we studied were overkill and to go overboard.
Thanks for listening today, everyone. If you would like to get in contact with us here at Culips, you can send us an email to contact@culips.com, or you can find us all over social media: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Wherever you go, we are there.
And these days, we are most active on Instagram. So if you're an Instagram user, definitely check us out. Don't forget, the study guide for this episode is available on our website, culips.com, for all Culips members. If you'd like to sign up and become a Culips member and support the podcast, then just visit culips.com to learn how to do that. If you like Culips and enjoy learning English with us, then please do us a favor. Leave us a 5-star rating and a nice review wherever you get your podcasts. This could be Apple Podcasts or even a different service. That would really help us out and we would appreciate it. We'll be back soon with another brand new Culips episode, and we'll talk to you then. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.